Afternoon, everyone. Bill Rentschler in the 1011 Now streaming studio alongside Bailey Bischoff, who, Bailey, I think I'm just going to dub you my chief political correspondent. Between last night and some of the things we're going to talk about today, you've dug into all the data. Maybe like political science correspondent.
Maybe just like if it's numbers related to these political races.
Yes, not necessarily commentary on the races, but the numbers.
If it requires hours of looking at documents and inputting numbers into an Excel spreadsheet, you can call me.
Then then you're the person to talk to. All right, so kind of just a little bit of a rundown here. We'll kind of go through again, kind of the numbers that we saw from last night. Again, just looking at some of the races and again some of the winners. Again, including Mayor Baird, who won re-election, and then we'll kind of dig into the turnout, the votes, and then again some of the dollars as well that have gone into some of these races. So again, if I pull up our election results from last night, again, obviously the big one being the mayor's race, and again that race has been called. There's about 3,700 votes or so outstanding between early votes and some absentee votes that still need to get dumped into the results. But again, the way things stand right now is Larry and Gaylor Baird has about a 6,000 or so vote advantage, 6,500 vote advantage over Suzanne Geist. So again, 54% to 46%. So Mayor Larry and Gaylor Baird winning re-election over Suzanne Geist. Again, the city council races, District 1, James Michael Bowers, again, leads right now over Taylor Wyatt. Again, there's still enough vote outstanding that, you know, we're not necessarily calling that race for James Michael Bowers, likely going to be him, the incumbent for City Council District 1, but still need to wait for those official results. Again, all of these that we're showing you are unofficial results. District 2, Tom Duden winning over Bailey Fight, again, by about a 2,700 or so vote margin. In District 3, Justin Carlson over Alina Newman, 61% to 39%. District 4, Brody Weber over Wayne Reinwald, 59% to 41%. Airport Authority Board of Directors, Chris Stokes and Chris Hove coming in the top two places there. Again, two people being elected to the Board of Directors for the Lincoln Airport Authority. Board of Education, Annie Mumgard over Alana Bruliette. District 2, Piyush Srivastava over Emmy Pollan, 60% 40%, and the last one was District 6, and that was Bob Ronner over Richard Aldag IV. So again, obviously the big one though, Bailey, was the mayor's race again, and the numbers, which is good to see. Voter turnout up from obviously from the primary, which was only at like 20 or 30% or something like that, if I remember correctly.
33%.
33%
in the primary. 44% in the general. I'm going to do some quick math I didn't think to do here. Hold on, really quick, to find out what percentage of the city of Lincoln elected the mayor. Yeah. So I just didn't think to do 2, 9. Luckily, I have all these numbers in front of me.
That's good.
So 26%, so just about a quarter of the population of Lincoln voted in the primary last night. So and that's again, 44% of registered voters.
Not necessarily echo Suzanne Geist last night, who talked about people not voting. But again,
there are some people who don't vote.
Who don't vote, and again, you're right too. But again, hard to complain when only 26% of the population of Lincoln elected the mayor. Again, if you want things to be different, you got to go vote.
Yeah, only 59% of people who live in Lincoln are even registered to vote. And then, but this year I will say, like the 44%. I looked on the Lancaster County Election Commissioner's website. There are numbers dating back to 2007. That are just on there, and 44% is the highest voter turnout for a city election. I did make this graph, which kind of charts it over time. 2007 to 2017 elections, we were all, if the mayoral races, this includes both ones with the mayor's race and ones where it's just city council. And so you can see that it was higher in 2007. That was Chris Beitler's first time running for mayor. He's our mayor for a long time.
12 years.
So that was his first race. And then after that one and really until 2019, it was fairly steady, that graph. It just stayed fairly stable. And now it's been kind of, you can see the ups on there are the years that we have a mayor's race, and then it dips back down for
In
the
the
ones
off
where it's
years.
just city council or Lincoln election. But turnout, as you can see, is going up, but it's still fairly small numbers. Like in the 2021 primary, where it was just no mayor's race, we had a 24% turnout in the primary, 29% in the general, which is pretty good if you compare that to the other years where
Yeah.
there wasn't a mayor's race. 2019 was our previous high since 2007.
What's that, 38%?
37% for the general. That was when Lyrian was first elected mayor. Before that, though, really, 2007, 2009, 2011, you're seeing like less than 20% in the primary and less than 30% or around 30% in the general. And so people are voting more than they did in the past, but that gray line on the top there is the voter registration, so the percent of the Lincoln population
Which
that's
is
registered
actually
to vote.
down. I mean,
It's
if you,
a little bit down, but fairly stable. So
Yeah.
I don't know. Obviously, I couldn't say exactly what is causing more people to vote, but it does seem like we are trending upward in the number of people who cast their ballots. But again, only 26% of people who live in Lincoln
elected.
participated
Yeah.
in yesterday's election. One thing that was different this election was just a huge amount of money spent.
Lots of dollars.
So I did put that on a graph as well,
We have-
looking at mayor's races.
We have all the graphs from Bailey.
I have two graphs, more graphs than I had yesterday. So I looked at the mayor's races dating back to 2007 to now, and you can see a really sharp increase in 2019. 2007 was more competitive. It was former Mayor Chris Beitler's first time running. There were 4 candidates in that primary, and there was a total of just under $800,000 raised and spent in that race. So
That was Ken Swoboda, Chris Beitler, in the general,
yes.
and Mayor Beitler just squeaked out a 800 vote victory.
So that was a lot more. That was a pretty competitive one, looking at the numbers, but still, like if you compare 800,000, just under 800,000 to this year, like look at how big the difference is. In the next years, with Mayor Beitler running for re-election, much less was raised and spent. $300,000 in the 2011 race, $700,000 in the 2015 race. And it just really,
2011 was Beitler versus Tammy Buffington.
yes. And he won fairly
Well, it looks
handily.
like turnout for that
20% in a general election.
21% in general. Ooh, man, but I think fair to say again, at least based on the numbers you dug up this afternoon, this go around is the most expensive election that Lincoln has ever seen.
As everything we've seen so far.
From all
Yeah.
the numbers that we've seen so far.
Yes.
It's interesting.
And so who's to say if there's a correlation between the spending and like just the number of ads people are seeing, if that increases awareness, causes more people to vote. But we have seen increased voter turnout the last couple of years.
I would be curious, looking at.
I'm sure there's someone official who studies that.
Oh, I'm sure. I'm
We
curious.
can try and
I
find
would hazard a guess that early vote has continued to grow. So based on the report last night, again, 32,158 early vote ballots.
That is one thing I haven't looked at.
And it looks like in 2019, it was only 19,479. So you almost doubled the early vote from 2019 to 2023. If you go back to, what would it be, 2017?
That one was not a mayoral. So I'd go to 15.
2015 general
That's
election.
what's so fun about this
You had
is every single person.
15,732 votes. So
Yeah,
the
we're
early
going up.
vote has steadily gone up as well.
Every single person in the city, and who has a computer, can look all this stuff up.
I know.
And we get paid to do it, so that's fun for us. But
We get to crunch the
that's
numbers.
the beauty of, I guess, all this publicly available information. And I did request from the election commissioner even more, dating back further. And so he sent me turnout results dating back to 1997.
Ooh, okay.
So I'm gonna map some more trends. I just haven't had time to do that, but I'll put it all on our website.
So that'll be all on 1011now.com. You can get all of Bailey's, just her brain gets put out on like a spreadsheet.
I just
and
get
then
excited.
numbers can be exciting.
You can find answers.
Yeah, and trends and things like
because
that.
I would have thought that, I don't know why I thought this, that like maybe fewer people were getting involved in politics, fewer people were voting, but the numbers show that the opposite is true.
I mean, if you would have told me, again, Suzanne Geis ended up with 35,404 votes. If you would have told me before the election started that that's how many votes she was going to end up with, I probably would have told you she's probably going to win. But Lyrian with 42,000, again, it's just based on some of these numbers that we've looked at, likely one of the highest vote totals, in a mayoral election that Lincoln's probably
I
seen.
should find that out so far with what we've seen.
So interesting stuff. So like Bailey said, she's going to continue to dig into these numbers. All that's going to be online on 1011now.com. So again, make sure to check it out there, and we'll make sure to post a link to that once it is up there. So anything else before we're good?
I don't think so. I think it's just only 26% of people in Lincoln voted, cast their ballot. So while it's record, it seems to be record based off the numbers we've seen. It seems like there's still
we got to pump those numbers up. I get everyone to.
Doesn't matter who you vote for.
That's right. Doesn't matter as long as you cast your ballot. So, all right. Well, appreciate everyone for tuning in. Again, we'll have all the latest news, weather, and sports coming up throughout the rest of this evening. And again, Bailey will have all that information on 1011now.com. So make sure to check that out. So appreciate everyone for tuning in. Hope everyone has a good Wednesday.